the fuck?
Come on, bitch. Come on. Hey, she's trying to get behind. Let's go. You gotta come out. Yo, y'all fucking up the floor for real. You gotta come out. You split that shit.
But Black Lives Matter, right? Exactly what I thought. You be the judge. Genocide of black trans people that is going on. So, within the last week or so, I have addressed this issue in one of my videos, and there's been so much that's been going on here in LA because I'm like literally in the middle of a purge. You know, girl, just get into this mess.
Doing? Oh, somebody gave me this. Somebody gave you that. Somebody gave that woman that. This is, what store is this? Look at this store. Alex, Santa Monica police are here, but they're not right here. The fire department's here, Culver City Police, LAPD. This store has been emptied out. Hey, why are you taking all of this? See, there is not one police officer.
So you get the gist of it. Anyways, I saw a video a couple of days ago of this young woman, Iyanna Dior. And, oh my God, it was just so despicable. As a matter of fact, it's no shade, but it reminds me of a certain clip that I always used to see on Animal Planet.
For the next hare, the whole pack gives chase. Now numbers count. The lead wolves keep up the pace. Others run on either side, so the hare can't change direction.
Got her.
A tiny meal for the whole pack.
So, in the picture above, you have a pack of wild animals attacking their prey. In the picture below, you have a pack of wild animals attacking their prey. Make no distinctions. Time and time again, we have seen this happen. This looks very similar to a certain woman that was killed last year in the same exact thing where she had a fender bender with a person and a mob of animals, well, a mob of blacks attacked her too, and a month later, she was dead. Please, let's not have this be another Malaysia Booker situation. We have failed her. We failed Malaysia Booker, so why fail another girl? Okay? This is what God. We actually had a conversation about this like a year ago on the Tea Time Network, my former company that I helped start. And this is so on time for what's going on right now, right here. This is not about me. This is not about me looking for clout, looking to ride anyone's coattails. This is about all of us having this conversation. All of us meaning Ashley Breathe, myself, Ghazi, who's a very big activist in the Atlanta Black community. And then you also have Blossom Brown, a very well-respected activist all around. And Aja Crystal, as well as Tia Carter. So yes, a lot of different perspectives and viewpoints. And this was on the coattails of Malik Yoba coming out of the closet and then going right back in the closet. But anyways, nonetheless, I digress. This is just an excerpt of that. I will leave the link of the full episode if you care to, you know, go to the episode and spend 2 hours watching the full episode. But yeah, and here we go.
I sent a late invitation out to the problematic realist. Thanks for joining us at Cast. I know you, you know, a lot of people. You're an acquired taste, and I know you have a lot that you want to say about this. So I'll let you. I'm going to give you space.
Look at my teacup.
A little space.
Greetings, everyone. Okay, so we are talking about the Malik Yoba and Nadeal problem, or are we talking about
the
Black trans women that are killed?
Everything and
I just want to make sure we're on the same. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I don't know if I'm the best person to contribute to this because, like, I've experienced a lot of trauma, and I had to, you know, have a talk with my therapist and realize where all the trauma has stemmed from. Because I think that there are 3 things that I should be proud of, but it has been seen as a social handicap. The first one is, well, I guess I'll tell them to you, Black trans woman. Now, depending on who you're speaking with, both of those components could be seen as powerful things. But early on in my life, I have been seeing them as negative things. The Black, first of all. I've told many people this. I saw Nappily Ever After for the first time in a couple of years, for the first time a couple of months ago, and I started crying in the middle of watching that because of the fact that I related so much to that film. I related so much to basically, you know, going back in time and seeing the PCGA commercials, for me commercials of the Black woman trying to struggle to basically pull, you know, comb the Black child's hair. And then all of a sudden she snaps her fingers and then, oh, silky and bouncy, you know, just for me. And how that just really penetrated my mind into thinking that, oh, okay, well, I want to have my hair curly too. I want to be more like what's in society. And then I think about like how I am now and why I have so much anger against society as well as trans attracted men. So basically, I'm still learning. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm having a source of Black pride. And you know, even a couple months ago, like when I was going through my natural period and I started wearing my hair, and my neighbor had asked me, "Oh, you better put a wig on, girl. Get that nappy shit up." And I'm like, no, I'm showing my Black pride. And then I started noticing that it started affecting my money. So then I said to myself, okay, I can't be Black pride now. I'm going to have to get a little bit more self-esteem. But little components like that, I definitely feel that they affect where I am now and why I have so much source of trauma when it comes to this topic of Black trans or just trans attracted men, because of the fact that I'm starting to realize now that when it comes to a Black trans woman, most guys that are trans attracted, especially white men, they don't see a pretty Black girl. They see a body part. They see BBC. And you could be talking about the most intelligent conversation and trying to really make a connection. Yeah, I think that's very violent of what you're saying. Oh, blah, 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 blah. BBC, big Black cock. That's all he's hearing. That is all he's hearing. And that's all he's seeing when it comes to Black bodies. And I think that is where I get a lot of anger from, because of the fact that you're not respecting me as a trans woman. You're not even respecting me as a person. I'm just some big old BBC to you. So I'm kind of on the fence right now when it comes to trans attracted men because, I commend Malik Yopa for what he's doing. But at the same time, and they said this on the Breakfast Club, we shouldn't be commending people for doing something that they've already should have done or that they should be doing naturally. There's been a lot of trauma that has happened. There's going to be more trauma that's going to happen. And as I've said this before, Black trans attracted men they're in a position of power that they don't even realize. And they're sitting there on the sidelines and just sitting there waiting and watching and spectating. And it just makes me so angry. Like, and the ones that make me, sometimes I go back and forth on like, do I hate the Black trans attracted men more, or do I hate the white trans attracted men more? Because both of them have two different sources of power. You have the power to basically hire me in this job or so, but no, you want to stagnate me and keep me on the side as your little BBC secret. Then you have the Black man that basically you'll bring the Latina, the white girl, the mixed girl, the Brazilian girl, every other girl, but the Black girl, you'll respect. You want to play in my face. You want to come over and leave me with nothing but an ass full of cum and a mouth full of cum and nothing to show for it.
I want to co-sign that.
It's just basically a lot of trauma.
Yes. No, you're telling the truth. You're really telling the truth on that. And I want to say this though, because we were talking about race.
And the Black ones are the ones that make it the worst because of the fact that you're treating me like this because I'm Black and you're Black.
But see, I'm Black and non-Hispanic. So let me say this. I'm Black and non-Hispanic because living in LA, anti-Blackness runs extremely high.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, I can't.
You will have someone as dark. You'll have someone as dark as Wesley Snipes saying that he's Indian, Brazilian, and then Black.
Yeah. Because the thing about it is, here, people think I'm Afro-Latina, and I'm not. I'm not. And, no shade to anyone who is or whatever, but I will say, the minute that I tell people that I'm Black, non-Hispanic, I get treated like shit. And it's so crazy to me. And it's so interesting because I feel like it's all about peeling back the layers and discussing the isms, like the racism, the colorism, all of these different things. And it's so interesting. And I'm really curious to know, going back to Malik's situation, like who is the trans woman he's dating? Because the thing is, if she's a white woman, if she's a Latina woman, I can already hear that conversation rolling from Black trans women. Oh, is Black love becoming obsolete? I can hear that conversation rolling because
people have
Black love has been obsolete for quite some time.
Yeah,
Blossom allegedly he's dating
Carmen Carrera because this is an opportunity for her to step into the limelight.
Right,
and she's Latina.
Exactly. So the thing is, I don't know. I've met Carmen only once, and so I don't know her like that. We have mutual friends or whatever, but the thing is, I can already hear that conversation going. Like, Black celebrities have this tendency of dating outside of their race. And I've actually heard this across all spectrums, especially the bisexual football player that just came out, hearing from Black gay men about how Black love is becoming so obsolete that he's got to be with a white man. Just today, Doja Cat, they just dragged Doja Cat, who's a rap artist, who's biracial, for dating a white man. Like, that's how our conversations are starting to go within the Black community. And, we got to start talking about these different things or whatever.
I think it has a lot to do. It has a lot to do with unlearning what we have learned.
Yes.
I saw an interview of Jadinya on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how he went to Africa and he stayed there for a while. And he was saying
Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of, like, if he was raised out there, his mindset would have been different. And I think about that myself sometimes because of the fact that the way I was brought, I was always the.
Wait, Asha, why are you cracking up?
No, I was just saying that I was always. Huh?
Oh, I love you so. I love it so much. What you be making me laugh, this nigga? Sorry.
Okay. But I think growing up, I was always the token black kid. And I started to realize very soon, even growing up in black schools and things of that nature, of like lighter was always the more sought after and everything. And unlike the other people, been raised in the South, the epitome of like, when it came to guys, the epitome of like, I guess like what most girls were attracted to was the light skinned guy or whatever. I did not too much gravitate to them, but they gravitated toward me. And I think I'm still dealing with this myself because of the fact that, whenever I come across a light skinned guy or so like that, I have this perception that he's the devil. That first of all, you have this privilege and then you think that you're all that. And I have to bring you back down to earth and let you know that you're just as much of a nigger as I am. So,
Period.
basically, I have to really control that anger because of the fact that that is one of the first things that I screw out. And people always say, "Oh, you're a racist among yourself." I say, I'm not a racist among myself. I have been told by various sources of black folks, especially black men, you were put here as a weapon from the white man. You were put here to weaken the strong black man from his black queen. And I'm like, oh, okay, so what about the strong black man that's sleeping with him and that's taking him from his black queen? Why what about the strong white woman that's taking him? Why am I the problem? Oh, and then that makes me want to disassociate from my race because most people have said the same person will say, oh, yeah, you're a disgrace to the blacks. But this is not a disgrace. This is not a disgrace. Oh, they will do this all day, every day. I mean, so where's the
what
real
was that book?
What that say?
Huh?
What was that?
What was it? You moved too fast.
Why black men love white women. And it just talks about the psyche. It goes
Why do
really
you have
into the
that
psyche.
book?
Huh?
Why are you studying? Girl, she doing research.
Oh, I had that book because I like to read a lot, and that was just a book that I came across years ago, and I said to myself, you know what, I want to read this, and I really started to get into the psychology of like how black men will place every other woman, every other.
I wonder if a white woman wrote the book.
And it's mostly African American men that have this.
Check and see who wrote the book. Check and see who's the author.
Honey, we
I want
gotta
to
do
see
more
if
wine
it's
for this.
Susan something.
You see it?
Who's the
That wine,
author?
girl.
Tell us. Read it.
Oh, it says Regine Persuade, something like that.
That could go
I
either
don't
way. Black
sound-
or white, Regine.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
So
I really want to unite with what you said, sis. Like, you right, because, like, how many black trans women did he run over before he met Carmen Carrera and now wants to come out? Respects her to the point where he wants to come out, but didn't respect the other ones before, the melanated ones before, the ones that are calling him out before.
he didn't respect me enough when he came over
then we
here.
also
and
have a
reached me.
culture in, like,
He said he wanted a relationship and things of that nature. And see, one of the things, this is not about putting.
Wait,
anyone on
Fox, can you
blast.
turn your camera, please, to the right?
The right?
Yeah, you're sideways.
Okay.
And repeat what you said because we couldn't hear you.
I said,
No, turn it all the way around.
all the way around.
You're sideways. Your whole
Right
camera
now.
sideways. We need to see the different.
My camera sideways.
Okay, that's better.
There
That's
you go.
better.
There you go.
Okay, great. Now go ahead.
I was saying that he didn't respect me enough to come over here with at least, something, a 12 piece of KFC chicken or something like that. He wanted to feed me lies and say, oh, I'm looking for a relationship and things of this nature. And, it's not about being a prostitute. It's not about like having, it's about bringing something to you. Because whenever you come into someone's space, you're sharing their energy. You're taking something. You're taking energy away from you.
I'm taking energy away from you. And when you come over under false pretenses, that's basically energy stealing. So you've been energy stealing for like over like 2 decades since New York Undercover has been on, and now it's convenient for you to come out. Now, great, that's great and everything, but the fact of the matter is that why is it that you can't put these Black women that you've stolen their energy from, that you've 3 generations of Black trans women that you have sucked up and suckered out of, believing that you're the trade. And that is where the problem comes in. That's the problem with trans attracted men, period. Oh, I don't pay for sex. I don't pay. No, you don't pay for sex, but you take from sex. You take my energy, you take everything good about me away. So instead of getting this girl that's naive, now you've gotten this evil petty bitch that when I see you, and I'm not talking about Malik, period, but I've told this to some men that I have so much anger pinned up against you that I would probably literally take you to my hometown in Birmingham, Alabama, to a Trump rally and leave you there and say that it's something else because of the fact that all of this anger that I have, I don't know what to do with it.
Okay.
So, Tia, you've been kind of quiet. Did you have anything to say?
Child. Okay, I mean, just a few things. Okay, so we go and we say that men look at us as fetishes and all of this, but we need to address the reality as trans women have our images are so sexual. I think that historically, like, we promote like our whole being, like, the way we dress, the way we move, the things we do. We've been so sexualized, and I think we sexualize ourselves in a lot of instances, because I know I've seen girls that every time I've never seen them without seeing their cleavage, or I've never seen them without being overly sexual or presenting this overly sexual thing. And we have to also admit that there are a lot of trans women out there, especially younger ones who are just coming into the lifestyle, who do all these things for these men, and they, there's a lot going on within the community, and there's a lot of people who are doing the things that's damaging our community. There's a lot of drugs in the community. There's a lot of crazy sex going on, and it's just as much as there's tranny chasers. The girls chase the trade too. So and there's a lot of things that we have to address, and we have to address how we've gotten to this place. What is this? What's going on?
I think we need to stop playing the blame game. I think we should start asking the questions of why the girls are doing drugs, why the girls are chasing trade.
I mean, I get all of that. I get that. But I'm just saying, acknowledging it.
We should start asking, like, why is it that my
I
Black
know
trans
why
life
it
only
is.
matters when I'm dead?
I know why there's drugs, and I know why there's sex work. I acknowledge that a lot of people have absolutely no choice, and it's survival, and it's just the way of life. I also understand that historically,
Well, if we were to go that
drugs
no,
and wearing cleavage does not mean that you get to disrespect and murder
I'm not,
people.
and
I'm not saying that it is.
But
what I'm saying is
piggybacking
that
off of that, I want to know why other people within our community don't acknowledge the murders of Black trans women. That's what I'm really curious to know about. Why
Can
are
you
some
say
of these
that again? Let me turn this fan down.
Why don't other groups within our LGBTQ spectrum don't acknowledge the deaths of Black trans women? It's very,
because they don't see us as human beings. They don't
Didn't
see
that
black
didn't that
transsexuals as
organization
human beings, and you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. If you show body, you're a slut, and you're shamed for it. Not saying that Miss Tia is doing that. She's just speaking. That's her narrative. She's speaking. However, there's a lot of people that shame you. You can't. If a woman wears a weave or she's got a unit, okay, she's trying to be white. If she goes natural, she's trying to be pro-radical and she's trying to open up her third eye. The bitches can't win because she's a black bitch. And you know what? And they don't see her as a human being, but they call her an angry black bitch because she's opinionated. She can't.
You know what?
Break down. She can't cry. She can't do those things because she's never given a fucking chance. She can never be oppressed. She can never be depressed. She can never do those things.
She can never be educated. Because let me tell you something.
I'm so sorry in my feelings, and I didn't mean to yell at her for anybody.
No. You hit something right on the deck. Because let me tell you something. She cannot be educated because the one thing about it is, if a black woman talks proper, she must be equating to whiteness. Like black people are not educated enough. That's not
or they'll
true.
say you're
when you have
talking
Harriet
white.
Tubman, when you have Ida B. Wells, Barnett, exactly. When you have Ida B. Wells, Barnett, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, so many people who have led the way for us in the black movement, for us to be able to have access to certain things or whatever, it always equates to whiteness. I hate that. You speak so articulate. I fucking hate that. It really bothers me. It really, really bothers me. So you hit
Well. See, you have to understand something. Like, and I've said this so many times before. Most millennials, I refer to them as the dumbed down generation, and it's not to be a read or anything. But when you mostly have like a generation of people that have been raised by Siri and Google, and everything that they say or every move that they have to make, they have to pick up a phone and translate it. Then I've realized myself I have to dumb myself down. I've had intellectual conversations with guys where basically I'm telling them and reading them the rights act, and they will get back to me through text and say, "Hey, I ain't reading all that." And I realized that I have to start giving them this in little increments. But I agree with what Miss S. Child said, because it is the black woman that has always been put on this pedestal of like, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can say that, but you can't say this. And I can even understand where a lot of the anger from the black females come from when they see a trans attracted man and he says that he's straight. And I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Honey, you are not straight. Anyone that is attracted to a trans woman is not straight. I don't care what she said. That is the problem there. But you're not gay either. You're somewhere in the spectrum. I don't think we've found a definition for that. Now, the anger comes from black females because of the fact that black females do feel like, okay, I got to fight the white woman, the Hispanic woman, the Asian woman for my man. And now I got to fight for my own identity. And I got to figure out like what you are. And let me tell you why I think that they're so angry, the black females. They're angry because of the fact that when you think about it, it's actually very selfish of these trans attracted men to say that they're straight. And I'm going to tell you what the visual is. The visual is that they have 1 foot in the kitchen, right here, 1 foot in the living room. And you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. And that's being selfish. That's being greedy. That means that you get all the perks of being straight, heteronormative. And then, after 12 midnight, those are the DL creep hours, or what we call out here the Eddie Murphy hours. Now I can get to do my dirt before 4 a.m. So basically, you go back home to your wife, and you can live your normal life,
Wait, why do you call it the Eddie Murphy hours? Hold on, I'm stuck on that.
I just caught that.
Why do you call it the Eddie Murphy hours?
Y'all just clocking Eddie Murphy today, calling all his tea out.
Ashley, you know why. No, we call it the Eddie Murphy. We call it the Eddie Murphy hours because of the fact that that is the time where everyone does their creeping. Like most of the celebrities that you would think, wouldn't be creeping, they're gonna do their creeping like after 12 midnight, doing the Eddie Murphy hours. And it's also the time that he got caught with that trans woman years ago.
So,
who later was murdered.
no,
But,
no. She accidentally fell off
Yep.
the balcony
Yep.
of her hotel. We're gonna go with that. We don't have any proof because in the court of law,
Girl, I stopped believing in Santa Claus at 7.
I believe it. Because there's been a couple of celebrities that I've run across that have tried to do the same thing, especially one WWE wrestler who shall be nameless.
Well, I thought
here's the thing.
When Malik was
that
on the Breakfast Club,
most girls need to realize about
that he actually name dropped the history of other Black men. Yeah, he name dropped the history of Black men that have been caught in scandals. Eddie Murphy, Teddy Pendergrass, Mr. C, and we have to add Young Buck, Bobby Valentino, and allegedly Chingy. We really don't have proof of that.
And status is out. He was so quick to mention Octavia. He was so quick to. I was like, "Why are you talking about?"
Can I say something?
He said he had been to the ball, child.
Go ahead, I just call somebody's status out all what you.
What Sister Tia said, I do really have a problem with what Sister Tia said. I think that, saying that, okay, well, us as Black trans women, that they over sexualize themselves, or kind of, it's almost saying that these sisters are doing things that are attracting this violence towards them, and they do drugs and things like that. White trans women sexualize themselves and show them their sexy selves. White trans women do drugs.
Gazi, let me
and
give
all
you a
these other
different.
kinds of
Let me
things.
give you a
That's
different
not the
visual.
reason why there's violence being put on African and other colonized trans women. The reason why there's violence that can be put on them and y'all is because there is no systems of protection. And at the end of the day, a white trans woman still has the police on her side that a Black trans woman does not have. And somebody said, well, what is the end game? The end game is we as a people have to start creating systems and organizations to protect ourselves, because education is not enough. And sometimes education is an ass whooping. We need to come to, like in Atlanta, Georgia, we have a chapter in my organization, Black Hammer, where we are organizing a gun club and self-defense club for Black trans women and all of these people that call themselves allies.
Yes.
And girls need to learn how to access their own weapons.
We gotta get people to go to the club with you. And if somebody wanna try you, then they gonna have to face some repercussions. Because the reason why black men are attacking Black trans women, they're not crazy. And it's not, my masculinity, I just gotta attack a trans person. They're not crazy, because if they know enough not to attack no white trans woman, they know enough not to attack her.
Wait, let me give you.
But you know what? Black trans women need to start. Gazi said something very, very powerful. Fuck all this self-defense and everything. Let's start getting Black trans women to sign up in the states that they can and get some real protection for trade when he wants to try it. Because. Honey,
girl, put that, girl, go flash, girl.
Is the one trade
girl, you cannot flash that on YouTube.
Girl,
but here's the thing:
she about to get the whole live.
Because they want to find the girl, and they're gonna meet the
but you gotta also understand though. But you also gotta understand though, these girls that have been in the incarceration system, they can't carry guns. They can't always carry guns. And the thing is, you have to understand about these systems. You have to also understand.
Are these girls getting killed in incarceration now?
Miss Giselle,
these systems teaches us to be complicit in ways. Let me tell you something. When going back to what you were saying about systems, I always think about that equality versus equity picture. Where you see three people looking over the gate at a baseball game. It's white supremacy at work, and let me tell you how. The guy that can actually see over the fence without having to stand on something helps the short person who has to stand on the box and still doesn't see anything. Helps them get over to the point where they can see over, but still is taller than them. That's how the system works. And we're pretty complicit in it, because those same systems that we're trying to demolish, we actually benefit off of it. And that's funny, because I talked about this last year. We're complicit in a lot of these fucking systems because of how society expects us to be. Because you're a Black person or a person of color, you're deemed inferior automatically.
I see that they're also inferior. They're
Wait
also
a
trying
minute.
to associate us
Can
with
I say
gangs.
something? Can I say
Mm-hmm.
something? Let me tell you what's
Associate us with
dangerous.
being what?
No, I
I'm
want
sorry,
to
I
tell
missed
you
that.
what's dangerous, okay? And when I speak
What did you say,
about
Fox? I'm sorry.
and when I speak about over sexualization and drugs and things like that, let me make this clear for you on what's dangerous for me and the games that are being played out here. And it's not always by us. My next door neighbor, a gay male, dresses up fucking in drag, okay, and gets on the computer, on the chat line, whatever he does, and meets boys, telling them that he's trans. I live
Mm-hmm.
directly next door to this man that's
I
dressing
can't
up
either.
and having these boys, okay? So if she's playing with one of these boys and saying that I'm trans and all this stuff, and it gets back and this boy goes to say, oh, it's a tranny in that building or whatever, there, and if when I'm coming out the building or they're making that connection to me. They're saying because I am the trans woman that's identified that live in that building, not the gay guy next door to me that's dressing up in drag and playing and shit. And also, I live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. The girls around me are, you know, doing things with drugs and stuff, and just having and doing all type of things with these boys. So when I come out, they thinking that I'm one of these same types of girls, and they approach me in certain types of ways. This is what I'm speaking as a trans woman. It's a lot of things that we do not address. And I'm not attacking my own community, but I am addressing some of the real shit that goes on within the community and things that these girls are doing and these starter girls are doing. The girls that do sex work complain all the time about they not making the money that they used to make because these new bitches is sucking dick for $20 and shit. Bitches is not making $300 an hour like they was years back. So when I'm speaking about over sexualization and drugs and stuff and how that's contributing to the deterioration of this community, that's what I'm talking about. And I have to address that because certain types of people make it difficult and dangerous for all of us. If I got two girls around me within a 2 block radius that's fucking and sucking everything fucking around here because they high as shit, and then boys see me come out, that affects me too. So I have to address that. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that I'm not attacking my sisters. I'm the nakedest bitch you ever want to see. I'm a recorder. My fucking titties and shit stay out. Okay. So I don't feel like I should be attacked or raped because I have a sexual image. It's my style. It's how I feel most feminine. I feel affirmed. But when girls around me doing stupid shit and people dressing up and put on a wig and can't identify as trans doing stupid shit, that puts my life in danger. And so I speak on that.
Here's what.
Right, that brings you actually dived into a situation that happens in the community with a lot of trans women. We befriend gay men, and we create this bond, and then all of a sudden our gay friends start dressing up in drag and putting that they're trans on profiles and meeting men, and a lot of gay men are actually doing this to get trade, and a lot of times they don't realize that it's all fun and games until you get killed, because a lot
Right.
of men, they're killing us. So
If the train say that girl up there tried to trick me in that building, he's coming out as a boy the next morning. I'm coming out, and if somebody identifies me as trans, I instantly become the target.
So we're gonna just not fight back, and because we can't really expect that law enforcement is going to have our back. That's why I said that we're going to have some realistic tactics that are going to basically protect us.
Well, I'm from well, I'm
Some
a
of us are
fighting
going to have to
shooting
be
bitch,
sacrificed for
so
land.
And rallying alone isn't going to help it. I'm
Huh?
sorry. It's just not. We can protest as much as we want.
You know
It's
why a lot of these
horror
crazy
movie
laws are
franchise out here for trans women. It's
I
like
don't think.
surviving. It's like going through all the sequels. If you live past a certain age, and I know that's cliche, and I know a lot of girls live past 35. I know I'm one of them, but
Mhm.
a lot of girls don't. And the killer, we know what the killer looks like, and,
Yes.
and they're most likely betrayed, that feel some kind of way, and they feel guilty about liking us. And then, and you ever notice when there's a mugshot, they always have this dead, zombified look. Either they're happy that they killed one of us, or they sit there and tell the judge, and they got silver Chanel matching bracelets. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. Meanwhile, your DNA proves that you've been having your cake stabbed by this same girl, and you liked it. Then
Hmm.
you go home after you had your cakes busted open. And you go home
Oh,
and you kiss your girlfriend on the mouth and your 6 baby mamas and kiss that baby. Or you
ain't
kiss
that
your
true?
girlfriend's baby and you trying to get that baby. But that's another facet of the DL world.
So I want
But
to
the
know
gag
too.
is, who's killing us though? Who's killing us? Black
Who's
men.
killing who?
Who's killing black trans women? Black men.
Black cisgender male. They are the
Yeah.
highest demographic. That is not a lie. That's just not. I'm not speaking an opinion.
It's
That's a fact.
not. It's not.
Yeah.
But there are
This
community,
is what
the
this is.
Caribbean community and the black community. It's embedded in them from fucking birth to hate these people. I was having a debate with a cisgender heterosexual male, and I said he's talking about children and stuff like this. I said the first time I was called a faggot was in kindergarten. Do you remember the first time you called somebody a faggot or you recognized that somebody was gay? So yeah, we can recognize, we know from an early age who the fuck we are. Cause you knew, because you was calling me a fucking faggot.
Right. I was called gay before I knew what the hell it meant. Like
Baby, I
they
was
were
called
like,
all
"You're
kind of
gay."
faggots from my
I lived in
mother and my
Birmingham,
sister.
Alabama.
And on from part one went to part two. If it wasn't that at home, it went to high school. I had enough of it. I had to slap
I
somebody
lived
in
in
the face with a book bag. I'm like, what is a fag? I had to learn at a young age, at 15 years old, that a power stick. I got tired of it. And the same Butch Bunny, he was a white one. And he loved to call me all kind of ag fugs and stuff, and I got tired of him, and I punched him out, and then I got expelled for that. I saw him at a gay bar years later. I'm like, you motherfucker, who the fuck are you supposed to be? You calling me all kind of ag fugs, but you sitting there in the Butch Bunny bar, sitting there getting your little drink on.
Can I
You
say
come
something
in
real
our
quick?
community whenever you want, but you need to excuse to make fun of us in high school. No, bitch.
I just want to say that I think that when it comes to us, especially us black trans women, we have like double force trauma because it's the black and then there's the trans. And it's funny because of the fact that I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, and I knew, how can I say, I dealt with the whole gay or the trans things before I dealt with the black thing. I didn't even deal with the black thing. Well, not face for it like that. I remember one time I was like 12 years old because I was the black kid, and everyone was allowed to go into the house with all my white friends. And then his white mother had said, "Oh yeah, you can stay outside. We'll bring the cookies and milk out here." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. Oh, okay." So it wasn't until I got older that I realized what that was about. So there was like little shady things that happened like that when I was growing up. But I didn't get called a nigger until I was 19 years old out here in Los Angeles, California. And I was walking down Melrose Street. And the first thing I said to myself is, wow, I'm happy I didn't get called a faggot, because that was what I was used to, you know. And I think that that's a lot of the things that we deal with. We deal with that double trauma of being black and being trans.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you.
And,
Your mic is making a lot of noise.
huh?
Oh, she muted herself. Okay, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I think we deal with a lot of that double trauma. And unless that's addressed, a lot of this is going to keep going. Because if you've noticed, these black men are killing black trans women. And we know these black men are having with other women that are not black. We know that.
And they're having with men.
Especially in
like
America.
it's like, why, you know, it's so crazy. A lot
This
of
is America with 3Ks. And we know that these black men are rolling out the red carpet for others because of they already have that self-hate in them. So
Gazi, I
real
want you to stop right there, Fox, because Gazi, I know that you on your social media pages you get a lot of you know, a lot of views. I think all your videos go viral. And you know, you have a lot of you
Girls
speak a lot about interracial dating and about interracial adoption. So like do you care to like share your thoughts about interracial dating and you know your thoughts on that?
Yes. Let me write that down so I don't forget. I wanted to say that when the question was raised, you know, who is killing us? Who's killing, you know, Black trans women? And the answer is Black men. We have to understand that the Black men that we see now was not produced a Black community or a Black power system. Those are Black men that have been produced by white power. Those are Black men that have been educated by a white power system. Those are Black men that have been listening to music that has been programmed for them by the CIA and FBI for them to do violence within their community. Because the number one killer of Black men is also Black men. And it's violence that we put on each other that is keeping us down. And it's called, they call it Black on Black crime, but it's really called horizontal violence. And it's what it does, horizontal violence, is when an oppressed person is doing damage or violence to another oppressed person and not the oppressor. And yes, there is this thing of like you're Black and you're trans, but the base of your oppression is because you are Black. That's why the list of trans women who have been murdered this year, last year, the year before that, the year before that, the year before that is a soul train line of Black trans women and other melanated trans women, and not white women, and not white trans women. Because again, they are still colonizers. They are still oppressors. You are just because you are a trans person does not make you as a trans slave master. The slave master and the slave do not have the same life, even if you have a trans slave master or the gay slave master and my gay slave ass do not have the same life. One is still living at the expense of the other. And everything that a white trans woman has, from not just the style, but the system, the opulence, the resources, at the expense of Black trans women. That is not your friend. That is not your friend. And about this I want to segue to interracial relationships. It's the same in interracial relationships. Until we have overturned this system, there is a power dynamic between a white, Black, or and I always reference the analogy of if you go to prison and you have a relationship with the prison guard, the judge, the law sees that as rape because of the power dynamics. That prison guard runs your life. That prison guard has access to the outside. You do not. There's a power dynamic there. And and that power dynamic is also mirrored in real life. Would you love this white person? Would you want to be with this white person if you weren't produced by white power? If everything in you since you were born didn't tell you that white was beautiful and Black is ugly, would you still love this white person? Would you still love this white person if the privileges of you being with this white person? Because I'm gonna keep it funky. Because I dated one of the masters. I dated one of the honkies. I dated one of them. I did. And there was this thing in me of whiteness of parading him like, yeah, see, I was chosen by Tom. You know what I mean? Like, I'm chosen by Tom. And that chosen attitude also is mirrored in our society because, you know, we're talking about Malik as this Black man, but the reason why it's like this thing that we won this trophy, like, look, you see, a Black, straight looking, straight acting man is attracted to trans women. It's like a trophy almost. Like that means something. That makes Black trans women or trans women more valuable because this Black, straight appearing man finds them attractive. You know what I mean? And we have to find the power within us. And to my sister Blossom that says, you know, well, not all Black trans women can have guns because they've been arrested, things like that. You are right. And that's why I said we have to build organization around the defense, meaning just so you can't have a gun, but guess what? Problematic realists can have a gun, and Aja can have a gun, and Ashley can have a gun, and we can form something to protect you, get you a taser. When you go to work, when you go to the club, we organize and go with you, and everybody that says they're an ally needs to assist with that, with that protection, because a genocide is happening. A genocide is happening of Black trans women. A genocide is happening. And no magazine cover, no pose, awards, and none of those kinds of stuff is stopping the genocide. It's slowing it down at all. To me, it's
I agree
speeding
with
it
that.
up. It's making it even happen more.
Me too.
I agree with
Right,
that.
guys.
It's devastating. These people are making millions and millions of dollars off of the death of my trans sisters, millions and millions of dollars off of it. And it's disgusting that they force us to see that as we're supposed to celebrate. We're supposed to celebrate that.
Black trans lives are more valuable when they're dead.
Gazi, I know you. There's something that you always say, and I actually agree with this. You know, you say I'm Black, but I have been brainwashed to be white inside. That's something that you've said. How did you word it?
Oh, exactly, 100%, exactly. Long story short, there's this documentary about the Aboriginal people in Australia and how they have been maneuvered to be white. They take them from their villages and things like that, put them in schools and erase everything about them. And they asked this older Aboriginal man in Australia, what's his biggest fear? And he says, I ran into another Aboriginal person that's from my tribe. I tried to talk to them and they couldn't speak my language. They didn't know anything about their history, their culture, their land, nothing. It was just a white man in an Aboriginal body. And I said, damn, that's me. I'm just a white person. You know, everything in me has been designed in me by my oppressor. From the English I speak, from the way I see the world, I had to relearn to love myself. You know, Jasmine Fox is speaking so much truth. As a dark-skinned Black person, have to re-love yourself. And problematic realists, I want to be honest, like, you don't have to check your anger. Be angry and let everybody feel your anger, because your anger is educational as fuck and is revolutionary as fuck. And we feel that, because this whole, like, when I see Janet Mock and all of them and they're talking about the oppression and what's going on with Black trans women, and they're being so like this and like that. That ain't it. Like, what's it is what's
Well,
going
you know
on
what,
in this
Gazi?
room.
It's so interesting because, like, I expressed this anger to Ashley. Ashley's a good friend of mine. And I told her this. I said, when I do this anger, and all they see is an angry Black trans woman. When you do it, they listen. They listen. Sometimes someone may not listen to the message when I say, you know what? There is not only genocide that's going on right now, but basically, you know, there's erasure that's going on. Because I have to look at myself and I have to look deeply and say, why is it that we have laws now on abortion? And then someone else had told me that, because of the fact that there was some statistics that said that by the year 2035, that the whites will be the minority. And that was scary for them. So of course, like my home state, Alabama, they're going to start taking abortion. No, you don't need to get any abortions. You know, we want you to keep that baby. You know, so the first thing that you start doing is you start getting rid of the undesirables. And the undesirables would be the GLBTQ, because they can't reproduce. And then it's like a system. You start getting rid of the undesirables, and you start getting rid of the undesirables by having the other undesirables get rid of them. Hence the Black heterosexuals. You know, if anyone's gonna take me out, it's gonna be a Black straight man before any white man. And that's just the truth. So, and I'm gonna get really deep here, because all of the trans murders that have been happening lately, they have a very common variable. If you have to look into it very, very closely. The woman, I believe, B. Love, that got killed, there was also a rumor that she was messing around with a minor. Okay. And I believe the woman from last year, Isha Marie, she had said something on her live about, fuck you and your baby. You know? And so basically, she got killed too. And then you have another trans woman, Kiana Blakeney, that was killed, and it was conveniently brought up during the newsreel. Yes, a month ago she was here for, dealing with a minor. So already all those things are strategically placed. So when the public hears this, they associate the pedophiles with the transsexuals.
Yeah.
So then you have
that.
You have this placement of these alleged pedophiles having their own day, saying like, oh, well, we want equality, like the trans and the gays want. And I say alleged because I feel like they were placed there. I feel like this is just another initiative by the conservatives to strategically put these things together. So guess what? Oh, it's already you have the public backing, because already you have all of these little examples as leverage. So now you can start taking even more rights away. Oh, we took your rights away to be in the army, or we took your rights away to, now people can discriminate against you if you go into a homeless shelter. Now we're going to start taking even more rights away. And that's how you eradicate a community. Because already the community is fragile. So you get the blacks to eradicate them. And then once you eradicate them, then you get the Hispanics to eradicate the blacks. And I'm going to say this again. I was listening to that interview with Virginia where he was on the Breakfast Club, and he said that he got really angry when he was growing up when people would say, oh, you should go back to Africa. And now he says, being in Africa, I don't think that's a bad idea. And I mean, to me, I'm just so sick and tired of this life, period, to the point where I'm more entertained about, going out of space to like Mars, or when they're going to start putting people on the moon or so, if they're going to do that, because of the fact that living here in America, 3Ks is very traumatic for me being a black trans woman. It's very traumatic. And I know that when I express this anger, someone else is going to, do it and express it the same way, say it the same exact way that I said it. But they're going to have something else attached to them. They're going to have something attached to them called either celebrity or notoriety or the complexion for the protection. Because because that's what they're doing. After I'm dead or committed suicide or whatever like that, they'll probably have, some other black person.
Honey, if we keep it real, hold on. There was a light-skinned trans girl, I'm not going to name her, but that said something, the very same words that Ghazi had once said, all white people are racist. And this light-skinned trans girl had said the same thing and made a whole career off of that statement. And that was the same.
Because she had the complexion for the protection.
And, you
got to understand that.
She's a sister in another.
Protection.
Girl, Google. But I'm just saying the fact that, and, it's no shade, but we're talking about erasure, and sometimes a dark-skinned person can say something, and then someone lighter skinned can say the same thing, and it's amplified because that photo has the complexion for the attraction too.
Yes.
We look at pictures and we see light skin. Oh, she's beautiful. She's pretty.
It goes back to the heart with the nappy hair, and all of a sudden she gets a relax in her hair, and now she's basically everything's nice, everything's silky,
Guys, when you made that comment before, because you made a video with that same title, right?
Sure. I'm gonna tell you
what year did you make that video? Fox, I'm speaking to Ghazi. Hold on. So what did you say in that video?
Step in your truth. This right here, this offends people. I'm not acceptable as this. This offends people. I put the wig back on. Oh, put your wig back on, bitch. Oh, put your wig. And what's so funny is that my hair, if I was to take it out and flat iron it, it is much, much, much longer than this bullshit here on my head. Bullshit. But due to the fact that I don't have the complexion for the protection, that I am raised in America,
we can't
this
see the
is
thumb, girl.
acceptable.
The thumb.
This is not acceptable. That's all I gotta say. I'm getting mad.
And you know what? A lot of that stuff.
As you guys know, I had to make my exit. But anyways, this is not all about me. I want to give a special shout out to Iyanna Dior, as well as Megan Thee Stallion, Sing Santana, Kalani, everyone, a lot of people have been showing their support to this young lady and coming out in droves, and I'm so proud. So please continue your support. As far as her Cash App is concerned, this is the one that was on her page, but I saw like 3 different Cash Apps, and I don't know, I'm not touching it. But anyways, moving on. Let's uplift Iyanna Dior. Let's uplift Tony McDade, the young man that was killed due to police brutality, the trans man. As well as, let's try something different this week. Let's teach the young ones, learn from our mistakes, eradicate these dumb and these stupid laws that hold us back, and protect. I know what I mean when I say protection, honey. I'm talking about more than condoms. Shit. People talk about, oh, she can't register for the gun. These children can get anything that they put their mind to, honey. Child. Some of the biggest stunt queens out there. Honey, you register a gun just like you register that apartment that you're not supposed to have. But child, let me get off this thing. You go ahead and make that happen like you make those MasterCards happen.